Something is wrong with us. And I mean that in the most fascinating way possible. There is a certain kind of person who stays up past midnight, phone glowing in the dark, scrolling past sensible choices, hunting, not for transportation, for something else entirely, something that gleams, something that whispers a name the world already recognizes. They find it, eventually, an aging European flagship, a car that once cost more than their first apartment, now listed at the price of a decent used hatchback. And they buy it, knowing full well what's coming. Why? That question is worth sitting with, because this has almost nothing to do with cars. When a man overlooks pages of documented repair nightmares to bring home a deteriorating luxury vehicle, he is not making a transportation decision. He is making a psychological one. Deep inside, something in him has calculated that the prestige is worth the punishment, that driving something beautiful and broken is preferable to driving something reliable and invisible. Psychologists call it compensatory consumption. It happens when a person feels a gap, a quiet nagging sense that they have not yet arrived, and they try to fill that gap with something symbolic. The aging flagship becomes a 2-ton statement, a rolling argument, an answer to a question nobody asked out loud, but everyone seems to be asking anyway. Are you successful? The leaking fluids on the driveway at 2 in the morning say one thing, the badge on the hood says another, and for a while, the badge wins. Here is the uncomfortable truth at the center of all of this. We are terrified of being ordinary, not just disliking it, terrified, the kind of fear that will push a person to endure private financial suffering just to maintain a public image of a rival. The man gripping that heavy wood-trimmed steering wheel is not navigating traffic. He is navigating his own shame, using a faded emblem as a shield against the world's silent, relentless evaluation. He is borrowing an identity that someone else already finished using, and hoping the world doesn't notice the expiration date. If you trace this impulse all the way back to its origin, you almost always land in childhood. Maybe he grew up in a neighborhood where those exact cars glided past like rumors of a better life, driven by men who seemed untouchable, who seemed to have access to something he could not name but desperately wanted. Those cars were not just cars to him then, they were proof that someone had solved something he had not yet figured out. To buy that same car decades later, even when it is rusting and wheezing and begging for an expensive part that no one stocks anymore, is an act of emotional time travel. It is a man reaching back through the years, finding the boy who felt unseen and pressing heavy keys into his hand. You made it, the keys say, whether or not the engine agrees. The smell of worn premium leather, the deep, satisfying thud of a heavy door closing, these are not just sensory details, they are anchors. They carry a person back to a feeling they never quite got to have and let them live there for a while. But here is where the story becomes about all of us. Because when you zoom out far enough past the oil stains and the repair invoices and the optimistic forum posts about easy fixes, you start to see the real picture. We are all doing this, not necessarily with cars, but with something. We are all investing in depreciating illusions and calling it ambition. We pour ourselves into relationships built on performance rather than honesty. We cling to job titles that sound impressive but leave us hollow. We curate versions of ourselves for public consumption that bear only a passing resemblance to who we actually are at 7 in the morning, unfiltered and uncertain. The man slowly draining his savings to maintain a fading mechanical dream is simply more visible than the rest of us.
His version of the illusion has a VIN number and a parking spot. Ours are quieter, more hidden, but no less real. We chase the shadow of something we admire long after the substance has dissolved. We hold on to the artifacts of an identity that once felt aspirational, afraid to let go because we have not yet built anything to replace it. And underneath it all, under the badges and the titles and the carefully selected profile images, is the same ancient, aching question. Am I enough? Not the car, not the salary, not the curated life. You, just you, without any of the props. So here is the question I want to leave you with. What depreciating illusion are you currently paying for? What are you maintaining at real cost to your peace and your honesty simply because you are frightened of who you would be without it? The answer is worth more than any car, no matter how good the badge looks in the dark.